Why, hello, I'm Barry with Empty Hammock. Some of you might recognize this house behind me. It's my parents' house. They have asked me to redo their cold water tank, move the hot water heater, and install a good filter system for their well. So that's what I am doing today. First thing I'm going to do is get all of the assembly together for the cold water tank, the storage tank for the well. I'm going to be doing that in this configuration. Well, let me just show you. 3/4 PEX, 3/4 inch ball valve to turn the whole system off, 75-pound pop off to keep this from becoming a bomb, pressure gauge, 40-60 switch to turn the well on down in the ground and pump this up, drain, and then the union to hook up to the existing 1-inch line. I need to get this set to the correct pressure now. It's a 40-60 switch, and I need to set this 2 psi under the starting pressure. So I need to put this to 38 psi. One thing to be careful though is it's been sitting in the sun for a while, which means that the air inside it expands slightly, increasing the pressure. So once I get it installed in the nice, dark, dank crawl space, I'll recheck that pressure just to make sure it's where it should be. This is the old system that I'm going to be taking out. Probably original to the house, 1970s-ish, whatever. The reason that I know that this is gone is because the well pump turns on, off real fast when you run the water, which means that either the diaphragm in this is shot, or all the air has escaped, or who knows what. It's old, it needs to come out. Needs to be replaced. It's also leaking a little bit here and there. Ripping all that out, putting the new stuff in. I know it doesn't look like it on the camera because it's a really wide angle lens, but she's about 10 feet away and still standing there. This is the stupidest, friendliest deer. Let's see how close I can get before she actually walks off. That's 8 feet. Oh, yeah, about 7 feet. Ridiculous. The galvanized pipe coming out of the ground is attached to the poly pipe that goes out to the well. I could disconnect it back here and actually just connect the new pipes right to the poly, but it's sealed. It's not going anywhere. It works. So I'm just going to take it apart back a little bit farther. Once I take this little piece off, this connector off, I'm going to look inside the galvanized and see how much corrosion is there from the hard water. If it's reduced a lot, then yeah, I'll pop it all off and just do it new. But if it's not, then just leave it like it is. I'm using PB Blaster and heat to assist in taking it apart so that I don't end up bending or tearing up the pipe. And for the love of Pete, if you try this, PB Blaster is flammable. Don't do both at the same time. Don't blow yourself up. And then blame me for something stupid. Just try to record myself talking on a time lapse. That doesn't work. The cold water tank is now done. All the electrical is done. Everything's hooked up. I just need to recheck the pressure on it now that it has cooled down and get that set, and I can turn it on and see if it explodes. Okay, there we go. This turned off. It stopped at 60, and we are good to go. Get everything else hooked up. This blue line goes to the outside faucets. It's a 1/2 inch into the 3/4 main line. I'm going to be putting a whole house filter in next, but these need to be before that filter because they don't have to be filtered. It's just going to the faucets on the outside of the house for like watering the garden and spraying each other when it's hot, whatever. I am replacing all of the goofy shark bite push fittings that this house had. This is one of the most controversial things I've ever said on my channel, and I get a lot of flack, a lot of pushback from people who like them. I absolutely hate them. I never ever use them. I've had them fail over and over and over. Bit of my soapbox, and I'll leave it alone at that, but just use these things at your own risk and make sure that you put them somewhere where you can see them. There's basically two types of these push fittings, those that leak and those that don't leak yet. I want to put the whole house filter somewhere that is going to be easy to change out, close to the entrance to the basement here, not have to crawl back in there. You know, my dad's still fairly spry, but here in another 30 years or so he might not be, so I want to make it easy for him to be able to change these out. So I'm just going to put it right up in the top there. Easy to be able to use the tool, spin it all the way around. Right directly after the water filter, the water is going to go into a water softener. I always just recommend go ahead and get an actual regular salt-based water softener. There's all kinds of new fancy saltless doodad whatever out there. I personally have not ever seen one that works. I've actually tried them before and had horrible luck with them. Just go with the tried and true old regular salt system. If you're on a septic system, don't put the effluent from after the system goes through a cycle, don't put that into your septic tank, because it's going to cause a lot of problems with all that salt. Just have it go outside, out into the woods or into the ground or somewhere where it's out of the way. So the water softener is going to go right here. But of course, Lowe's doesn't carry them anymore because they're Lowe's. Because they're absolutely ridiculous. They're getting rid of absolutely all their good stuff. If there's anybody out there from Lowe's management, quit. I need to buy stuff because I do this for a living, and you guys are getting rid of all the stuff that we need as contractors. You're bringing in all this Harbor Freight quality garbage, and it's ridiculous. So anyway, we have ordered the salt tank and system. It's going to go right here next to the filter when that comes in. We had to get it from Amazon. Okay, that's still tight. I'm going to go ahead and turn the water on. Let's watch this fill up. Nice. Beautiful snake. Look at that guy. Hey, buddy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a nice looking snake. Beautiful, healthy. You go catch some mices for me, okay? That is a gorgeous black snake. Go ahead. Off to eat some more mice. Heck yeah. That was awesome. All right, next thing I need to do here is move the water heater. It is crammed into the corner of the kitchen, which is pretty goofy. So I'm gonna yank it and put it down in the crawl space with the rest of the water stuff. That way my parents are able to use this area to store stuff instead of just their water. So while this finishes peeing, I'm gonna get the new parts put onto the top. I'm going away from the copper and I'm gonna put the extensions on. Actually, no, first, let me wait on that. Let me show you why. You see how this is wide open and it's just barely piddling out, and there's no sort of air lock or anything on top. So that tells me that this is probably quite full of sediment or the minerals that are coming in through the water. The reason that we're getting a water softener for the entire house. So I'm actually gonna do a little bit of exploratory on this before I get everything completely locked up top. That way we can get it cleaned out. Now eventually, once you have a salt system set up in your house, a water softener, all of the minerals that are in here would eventually go back into the water and disappear. But there's no reason to put it down there if it's half full of stuff. So let's see what we got first. That's not good. Yay, something else I have to fix. And then it started raining. Urgh. Oh look, it stopped raining. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what hard water does to your water heater. Check this out. So I stuck a pipe down in the top and measured it. It's probably about 6 inches or so. Kind of what I figured it would be. So let's get that cleaned out. Okay, new element is in. Replaced that little wire. I'm gonna leave this open so it can dry out. I ended up getting a lot of stuff out of it. Yum. So with that, we're ready to turn on the water. Go ahead and fill up the tank. All right, so the water is in. I got the electric hook back up. That wasn't too interesting, so I didn't film it. But I did put in the proper disconnect and all that good stuff, and it is now heating up. The salt purifier thing should be here soon, so that's the next step. Do any of you guys have issues with UPS? So I happened to be walking up the road when I saw a UPS drive into my parents' driveway, and I was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go help. I got to the back of the truck in time to see the driver flipping the water softener end over end to get it to the back of the truck. I was like, what? I helped him get it off of the truck, and I was like, I'm gonna open this right now, and if it's smashed, you're gonna take it back. And he said that UPS no longer accepts that. If you open the box at all, you can't take it back right then. They have to call the 800 number, and they'll come back in like 3 days to pick it up. So the internal cylinder where all of the media was all jacked sideways, and I don't know. I'm gonna hook it up, see if it leaks water everywhere. Oh look, it's one of those centipede thingies. I just you grab them and shake them up. They smell like almond extract. And this is where it's going to live. I took the time and made sure that it had a really solid, flat, level pad to sit on top of. That way it can do its thing without being off of level. With that, I have the basic plumbing hooked up to it. I don't have the electric or the discharge or any of that hooked up yet. I just mainly need to see if it leaks. So let's fill it up. Look at all that stuff in their water. Can you see why I put that in? I have the effluent tube just hooked up into the back and temporarily run out the door. I really need to turn it on and make sure that it cycles to see if UPS messed anything up in it. So I'm going to temporarily use the old fire hazard. I will be running an outlet, a proper outlet for it, but I just need to make sure it works first. I've tried recording this like 5 times. Let me turn my music off so there's no screaming in my head. Anyway, thanks for watching. I still, of course, have to put in the electric for it and then run the tube outside like it's supposed to be, but I'm not going to show that. It's pretty boring. But anyway, thanks for watching and God bless.